What is boo?
Just me making fucking noise. Marital hate. Hey guys!
Hello.
Just give us 1 second. We're sharing our pages, and none of you guys are here yet anyway.
Meh.
Yeah, no one's here.
Meh. I'm gonna share it.
Oh, that's what I was trying to do. Sorry. I'm trying to multitask. This is
You have one job, Stacy,
What's my one job?
to be on this podcast. To look nice
I
and
don't
shut up.
think I ever look nice. And by the way, I never look nice. I'm so shallow and vain that I hate that you guys see me with I don't look like a person without mascara. So here we are, mascara on. Put some lip gloss on.
You're like Zsa Zsa Gabor over there with you.
Yeah, I'm so fancy and high maintenance. I threw
Like, do you get allergic smelling hay?
is everything that's on my face.
Mm.
Brow stuff, mascara, lip balm.
And probably some leftover food.
I don't have any leftover food on my
Oh,
face.
that's me.
Mr. walking around with shit on the front of his pants.
Shit on my front of my
Hi, this is Marital Hate. I'm Stacy.
I'm Doug.
We're married. We don't hate each other.
Sometimes.
Have you moved the flamingos lately? Because I feel like...
Well, they're the same.
Oh, there's the one that creeped up on
yeah.
us. This one got out of the pool. It's like a horny alligator off to fuck everything. If you're not a Floridian, one thing that's happening in Florida right now is everyone's... What? Why couldn't he be near us?
I'm sick of that. He's snooping in our business.
All the alligators are horny, and they're like going out into neighborhoods.
Yes.
Seeking some strange...
Hissing
their
at people.
Alligator noises. They even bring a little tissue to clean up the mess after. Just kidding. How do alligator... They cloaca that shit up, right?
Yes, there are cloacas involved, yes.
Explain what a cloaca is.
Cloaca is a one-stop shopping hole that is for all the functions of the nether regions.
So Doug's been very upset for the last 10 and a half years of being together that I do not have a cloaca. But
Well, I love reptiles, so...
one less hole for you,
What are
honey.
you gonna
Sorry.
do?
I don't know what to tell
But
you.
what if there was one, then it just reduces everything to one, because I don't think you
Well,
can get
alligators-
oral from a toothy alligator. Just saying.
I think that you could probably in your lifetime had a blowjob that was toothy and not delightful.
It's possible.
Can I name names?
Nope.
See, that's the difference between Doug and I. Doug has couth. I do not.
I do have couth.
So anyway, we're married. We don't hate each other. We have this little chat every night. Our friends come. We've got some people that have become our friends. We call y'all haters. Obviously you're not. You're delightful fucking people. I don't know what we did to deserve you, but we appreciate you. We especially appreciate anytime you interact with us. If you like, comment, sharing is a big one. If you follow us on the socials, anything like that you do is, yeah, you should not do that because it's going to make a racket while on the camera. Anything that you do to support us is super helpful. So, yeah, so we are on all the socials, Marital Hate on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Marital Hate with Doug and Stacy on Insta. Although I did not post on Insta today or yesterday because I have not been feeling so hot. I have a chronic illness. And Doug is in search of a job, and you had an exciting job search moment.
I had a lot of exciting job search
So, guys,
moments
join us
today.
on the roller coaster in case you haven't been here already.
Yeah.
Doug lost his job in September.
Boom.
Not been great. He fought with unemployment for what, 8 months?
Yeah, like 8.5 months. Yeah, it was
It's been
crazy.
a fucking nightmare. And so then yesterday, he announces on the podcast.
That I had an interview.
He was so excited about it.
And it was, now that I think back, right? So it was.
Well, you haven't told. You got to tell them the story.
Well, it was an interview, but it went through somebody. I just sort of figured it went through somebody that I know at the company, who was
you
trying
hadn't applied?
to help me out. I did not apply. I
But you
didn't
knew
even see a
somebody-
job.
But he knew somebody.
But
that
I knew
worked
somebody
there,
and I sent my resume to that person months ago.
And he assumed that the guy had gotten him in for an interview, so he was just like, "Oh, great!" Comes on the podcast, thanks the guy.
So I thanked the guy via text. And he's like, "Oh, that's awesome. Who are you talking to?" And so I got back to him, whatever. And so, long story short, I go today and I get the email. I really look at the email, and it was sent from an AI assistant, right? So I'm thinking, oh, maybe it's this forward technology company, whatever, right? It said to set up to go on Teams and text this person and start a conversation. So I'm like, okay, and it says with the link embedded or whatever, and I'm like, okay, I didn't see a link, so I just did the thing, and it said, oh, nice to connect with you. And so I'm like, oh, I hear great things about what you're doing. I'd love to hear more about the opportunity and set up an interview. And then it was. I wish I had printed it out
You could,
because
oh, it's in your. Oh, you didn't save it.
it's in my Teams. I
It
could
was.
bring it
It
out.
was. It was. He goes. We do our. Doug asked what the next steps were, and the guy was like, "Some people are nervous to have an interview in person." I'm like, "You not want to work at a company like that?"
Well, I was thinking that
You'll get fired on
it's
your
kind of
first
a
day.
it's kind of a woke company, right? I'm like, maybe they're trying to be inclusive. I have a son on the spectrum, so like maybe they were trying to break down some barriers here or something. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And so I just responded.
But
I
every
go,
time they would ask you a question, it would take them like a half hour.
right,
to
and
answer.
and then they said, well, when you're done texting, you have to write done to get the next question. And I'm like, okay, maybe it is an AI thing or something, right? So,
Well, and what did I tell you? I told you to reach out to your friend,
right,
and you
So-
finally did.
So yeah, and so so the friend, I said, he's like, hey, who sent you that note? I said, I'm doing a chat with this person now, and I said the original note was from an AI assistant.
So he actually texted you. You didn't reach out
Right?
to him.
No,
like,
I didn't. But I had just started with him.
Let me just interrupt for a minute. This is the bane of my existence. People come to me, ask me for help in various areas of their lives, or I don't know, I make the mistake of caring about them, and I tell them to do something, they completely fucking ignore me. Okay, go ahead.
So my friend says, looks like that might be a scam. Keep an eye out for a contact from their HR director who he talked to directly about me. He would be the recruiter. He goes, I'm guess somebody saw my post on LinkedIn. Either way, just never mind about the interview or whatever. And I said, well, here's the name of the person that they said. Well, we have that person, but he would not be in charge of recruiting this role. And at the moment, we don't even have this role available. So I'm like, oh, okay. So then I start Googling scams, online job scams through Teams. And apparently it's a thing.
So
now I went
there you
and
go.
I looked where all the emails were coming from, and it looked legit, and like but there was a couple things that didn't add up, and so I stopped, obviously I stopped doing the Teams with the guy, right? But I had left it open. I was dealing, I was texting with a friend or whatever. So I Google it, and it says that it's a scam. What they do, and it was funny too because they sent like this PDF of the job description, right at my alley, of course. So I don't know if it was like they used a ChatGPT to pull stuff or whatever. So then it says it gave the salary, which was odd for a job posting or at least a job description, and then it said you will be sent a 16-inch MacBook Pro, a something else, and blah blah blah, right? An iPhone, all on the company dime, and then it said you will be working on this software. Your computer will be loaded with this software, but in the job description it says has to know Adobe, this, that, and the other thing for design, but it wasn't listed in there. So red flag goes up, right? Or pink flag, some sort of flag, right? So and so I'm like, okay, this, so it started making sense that it was a scam. So apparently what happens is
You
that
ended up talking to the HR guy.
yeah, I ended up talking. He was a great guy. So anyways, the scam, what they'll do is they'll send you a fake check for the MacBook and the phone and all the stuff.
It'll bounce.
And then they'll say, send us back whatever you don't use. And so they send you, like a hefty sum. And then, so you end up writing them a check for what you don't use. In the meantime, the check's bouncing. They take it out of your account. So now you're out all this money. Plus, you can't recoup the money that you wrote free, clear, and legal to the scam place. So I talked to the HR guy, and he was like apologetic. He was fantastic, and I really enjoyed talking to him. And he's like, oh, if it looks like we're gonna be hiring for marketing, whatever, we'll let you know. And he said that at one point, a scam got so bad that somebody called them to find out where to send their offer letter, and so this person went all the way down to offer letters. So these scam people are sending out offer letters from companies that they don't work at just to get whatever they can get from it. So it was
Well, it was upsetting because you were like excited to have an interview.
I was excited that one of my contacts kind of
I
helped
think
out.
that
and
was the best
everything.
part, is that one of your contacts
Yeah.
like delivered, because a lot of people are like, oh, whatever I can do to help, and they don't actually they don't do shit.
If you folks
Some people
have
do,
really
and
come
that really
through,
means
so.
a lot when
Yeah.
when somebody will go out of their way like that.
Yeah, and so long story short, I made a contact with the HR guy, and who knows, but it was like one of those things. It's like you're kind of like, oh, this could be something, and then it wasn't something, and it was. But the good thing was, I probably invested 10, 15 minutes in that
Yeah,
like
I mean,
chat or
well,
whatever.
the thing
but,
that was weird too, because I came in, is that, and I said, call your friend, which was ignored, and the he would text the guy a response, and then it would be like
It would
very
be,
long
wait,
lag,
wait.
and it would be like
So I didn't know how
a
it
yes or
worked.
no question.
Yeah. And so at the end, and then it says, please, at the end of your responses, type done, so we know that you're done.
You already said that.
Right. So my last question that I had written before I found out it was a scam, I didn't write done because I was going to write number 3. I had 1, 2, 3, so I hadn't written 3. And so I had left it open for like half hour or whatever. I go back to it to close it out. And the response was done? Question mark. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't respond, but I felt like, yeah, I'm done, you scammer.
So you're not going to work there.
I might work there, but not through an interview through Teams. But I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a new way of doing things, or maybe screen or whatever. I'm like, whatever.
I don't know, but we've been talking about this for a while. Let's move on. The point is, Doug is going to get a job that's going to be awesome. It's going to be in a company that he's really proud to work for, and with really nice people.
Well, I tell you where I'm probably not a good fit. This other job that came across my radar today, where I'd be an art director at a company, a publishing company, where I would conceive, produce, design, and art direct mechanicals for book and Bible covers.
Why would you not work there?
Because I don't know, like that's a lot of pressure doing a Bible cover.
Why would you not work there?
I don't know. Well, I'm just saying because it's a Bible. Like it was more about like the Bible thing. Like,
yeah, you're like, you've got this like thing about, and a lot
pressure.
of people do, but like when it comes to Christianity, you guys all have these weird fucking hangups, and I'm not the joining type per se, but like the fact that there's so many people in this country that have hangups about Christians, like.
I don't have hangups, but I don't think I would be good at working at a. Well, first of all, I wouldn't be good at a book publisher because that's not what I do.
You told Tim Tebow you had experience in Christian leadership.
Yeah, but that had like more to do with Tim Tebow. I know something about Tim Tebow. I don't know anything about the Bible. But how many Bible covers can you like design? Like, do you want
a lot?
Do you want
a lot?
Young Jesus?
That's
you want
not
old
usually what happens.
Baby Jesus.
Haven't you ever been to a fucking hotel? I've been to a hotel with you. What does the Bible look like? Does it have a picture?
This is a Holy Bible in a nice serif font.
How
maybe
many
a gold
times?
stamp.
That's what I'm saying. There's never a picture of Jesus on the cover. Sometimes there's a cross.
Maybe that's where they're losing.
It says
people.
Holy Bible. You want them to put the like Buddy Christ on there, or you want them to put like the all downer Jesus on there?
I think you need to entice people to open that book, and maybe you have like romance novels.
No,
right? Those have.
Hang on a second. If you want to entice,
those are enticing.
If you want to entice people to open the book, you got to do what my dad did.
Oh, indeed, this is funny.
Christmas gives each of my kids a Bible and the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is an excellent book. So gives my kids, gives them each a Bible and a book on how to read the Bible. None of these kids are going to read the fucking Bible. That's beside the point. I don't begrudge them. Like, they're just, it's not where they were at in their lives. Maybe they have since read it. I don't know. In any case, he put $100 bill in each of their Bibles and hid it there, and then he clued in one of the girls.
None of them had looked open.
None of them had looked, and then
Bibles.
one of them went and got the $100 from another one. But I think that they may have given, I'm not really sure. But if you want to get somebody to open a Bible, put $100 in it. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, do you have any other items you want to go over?
Well, I have other items.
Do you want
but,
to be the Doug show, or do you want me to go into a Stacy thing and we bounce?
No, I think we can bounce back and forth. But that
Why does it seem so dark out here tonight?
Because it was a related work search story. Was the Bible
why
thing.
does it seem so dark out here?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe what we could do is turn on.
The lights are already on. There's nothing to turn. Oh, the dining room.
Dining room light. Sometimes it
that'll
casts
help a
a
little
nice
bit.
glow
All right.
out here.
So, I have like a whole bunch of stuff today. I guess the best segue from your from what you're saying about the whole job search would be the continuing reading of Eat That Frog. So I always try to read a little bit in the morning, and I usually will read to Doug, but he was sleeping this morning when I did my reading. So I wake up earlier. I also wake up like at 4 a.m. I start waking up every hour on the hour. It's really weird. But then I still need to sleep, so who the fuck knows. But anyway, I had some quotes from Eat That Frog that I wanted to share with you. Successful people continually put the pressure on themselves to perform at high levels. Unsuccessful people have to be instructed and pressured by others, which is interesting because obviously the self-motivated people are often entrepreneurs.
Yep. Yeah.
And let's face it, if you look at the if you can build a business that is successful, between the tax advantages and the fact that you don't have a boss and that you have some flexibility, there's a lot of benefits to it. It's how you build wealth, is generally not through working for someone else. The other one, so I had 3 quotes in the book. The second one was, most of your emotions, positive or negative, are detrimental to how you talk to yourself. Most of your emotions, positive or negative, are detrimental how you talk to yourself on a minute-to-minute basis. It is not what happens to you, but the way that you interpret that thing that determines how you feel. So basically, like, you need to choose your thoughts. You need to choose your reactions. Otherwise, you're going to be miserable. Another one is to keep yourself motivated, you must resolve to be a complete optimist. And that's something I definitely strive for in my life. I certainly get frustrated with things in the world around us. Lord knows, y'all have heard me talk about it. But I'll generally always find the silver lining in a situation or try to look at it from, both perspectives. And I don't know, I just thought that those things were helpful. And maybe one day you will read this book that you could probably buy used for cheap. It was a bestseller, I think, for a while there. It was $16.99, and it's by Brian Tracy. I bought it a long time ago, and I was just... God, when did we start reading this? Last summer?
Yeah,
Which is really sad.
It was a while ago, because...
I just want you guys to know, I'm not stupid, but we bought it last summer. It has 119 pages. The fact that we didn't finish it...
Well, we're reading it together, so that was... but I remember being in a meeting, and everybody's like, what are you reading? And I'm like, Eat That Frog? Because I don't read. Like, I don't read for, like, fiction or whatever for pleasure, and that's what they were looking for.
Back to the Hal Elrod thing, his whole thing is that, top performers, they do... the savers, which is sit in silence, do affirmations, visualize, exercise, read, and scribe. And so I try to do all those things every morning. You're getting in there. You did the meditation. Well, not today.
I didn't do anything today.
Oh, and you didn't do Wim Hof today. I should have let you sit through the whole thing.
But I did watch Wim Hof, which it was greatly entertaining. I'm fascinated by the guy.
Well, we did. Well, you like his accent.
I like his accent and the way he talks.
And he's very like lighthearted and joyous, I think, which are like, I think that those are good qualities. And so we've been doing the beginner Wim Hof breath work because I've done both the beginner and the regular, but because Doug was complaining that he couldn't do it because of his asthma. So what we did instead was did the beginner one, and so today we tried the regular one, and you said it was actually easier.
Yeah, it was faster pace, and it seemed a little easier, and it feels like more like a little bit more of a workout, if that makes sense.
It's a little bit more of a workout, and it takes less time. So we went from 11 minutes to 8 minutes. So I'm not going to complain about that.
We're going to use that extra time to put into researching on the podcast.
I also, while we're on the subject, I saved this. I took a screenshot of it because I'd seen it somewhere today, and I was like, oh, well, this is something that'll help everybody, because I know a lot of our friends. I know I have. A lot of our friends struggle with depression or anxiety, and anytime you can have any, ways to boost that. So if you want to endorse, boost your happy hormones. So we got 4 happy hormones: endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. If you want to increase your endorphins, do a little exercising, especially running. I would argue that Wim Hof gives you endorphins.
I would think so, yeah.
You should Google that while we're here. So again, exercise, but if you're not physically able, we think that if you did the Wim Hof breathing, which again you can get on YouTube, that you might have fun. So have fun. I think you might feel pretty good. And there's some really great stuff that they've seen with the Wim Hof breath work. I got to thank my Aunt Cheryl again. She's the one who introduced us to it, and
To Wim Hof?
yeah.
Oh, no
Yeah,
kidding.
she actually introduced me to it, the Situate House, which is when I started doing the cold showers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then the dopamine, if you want to increase your dopamine, listen to music, which we actually listen to dopamine. We listen to music pretty much all day around here. Like, I usually have music on if I'm not watching TV, but
I listen to
today-
mostly my own music because I'm still trying to mix the thing. But
And-
I'm getting there.
Well, and also Doug hates my music most of the time.
Well, not all of it.
And everyone, but like I introduce you to new music all the time, and I'm not listening to any new music.
Well, it's funny. Like a lot of the songs that I just never paid attention to from that '90s era or whatever, and I'm like thinking, all right, who is this? Because this one's better than this. This one stands out a little bit. All right, that one's good. But yeah, it does happen. It does happen.
Serotonin, they want you to get outside and get some sunlight. Today was the first day in a while that I didn't come outside during the day. I just wasn't feeling well. I'd overdone it with my shoulders, so I did yoga for my shoulders this morning, which are still very, very sore. And I am having tummy problems as usual, but I did do a detox bath and I watched an uplifting movie. But let me get back to that because I do want to talk about that uplifting movie. If you want to increase your oxytocin, that would be physical affection. And that could be non-sexual physical affection, obviously, is just as good as physical affection. And it could be with a pet or a
farm animal,
person of your choice, anybody who's willing.
flamingo at the zoo.
Yeah, that's not a willing flamingo. What's the flamingo? We don't know. He sodomized it to death, but you know.
I'm sure that the flamingo didn't think it was
I'd
gonna
love to be
end
sodomized
that
to
badly.
death. I'd love to be sodomized to death. Can I sign up for that? That'd be a good way to go.
I'm sure there's someone out
Do you
there
end up
with.
with pink feathers all over yourself? I don't even. I just
Wim
can't.
Hof doesn't help you increase your endorphin level and gain health improvements.
Does it?
That's what it says right here on
It does.
WimHof.com.
No, but I was
Yeah,
wondering.
It says
if
it does.
So
Yeah.
So it increases your endorphin. So Wim Hof. So if you have depression and you're feeling down, before you reach for a bottle of pills,
Feeling small.
or a prescriber for pills, do some Wim Hof and see if it helps. It can't
Yeah,
hurt.
and
also
his voice is great. His little accent
and-
is great.
And I'm not
Like
saying,
a circle.
If you are on psych meds, you should definitely, if you have any desire to go off of them, you have to do that with a clinician. However,
Consult your local expert in.
yeah, exactly. I think the only reason we got that slap was because we mentioned the C word.
Oh.
They're very particular about that, but that's not, even though it's been on a million other programs.
I actually, in my headline section, I've created a headline section today because I saw 3 things today that were actually humorous in the news.
Okay, but you
And
just
one of
totally
them
changed the
was-
subject.
No. And I'm saying one of them is the C word. So I hope we don't get bounced.
Just don't say that word.
I won't say it.
You can say cunt. You just can't say that there was an illness that people were really into for a while there, like around 2020. Toilet paper ran out, you know.
Stayed in their homes.
Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that you can reduce these positive hormones. There's a lot of evidence about the long-term use of SSRIs. I'm not saying don't use them. I'm just saying that, you know, you should be very aware of the long-term risks of any of these medications. And you know, if you haven't followed the Lindsay Clancy story, this woman was on a bevy of psych meds and strangled 3 of her children with exercise bands and then jumped out a window. So she's facing charges.
It was a first story
Up in
window, however.
Duxbury. Was it a first story?
No, I don't know. I'm just, you know, she survived. So
She survived. There's mixed reports as to whether or not she's paralyzed, but she is she's facing some serious charges, and a lot of people, including myself, think that she was irresponsibly prescribed medicines. So anyway, what I would argue is that you should have a full workup of your hormone levels, your vitamin, nutrients, full physical. I think anybody who's not feeling like they could fucking run a marathon right now should do that. But particularly if you're on medications, any medications, because the side effects you really have to question. So anyway, there's stuff you can do. I think it was out of Australia. They were talking about prescribing exercise as a treatment for depression. My argument is if you can get the effect of exercise with Wim Hof method, then give it a shot. The other thing that they talk about is sauna being really effective. So that's another, sauna acts as exercise. So if you can't physically exercise, do the Wim Hof breathing, get in the sauna. Those are things you can do no matter what your state is. The other thing is
I've been doing the sauna like every day. I didn't do it today, but I did it every day for a while now, and my blood pressure is down. It's down.
What's your blood pressure down to?
It was 138 over 30 something. So it was
And
down.
what was it? And what was it yesterday?
150 something, 157
Over 112.
Yeah, 119, I think it was.
A 119. So I'm trying to teach my husband to choose his thoughts and so on and so forth, but it's kind of like,
It's hard for me, this simpleton.
it's hard for you. It's hard for me because it's like having a teenager again who doesn't want to do what I'm telling them to do. So I have basically given up on this. But I will say this. There was an exercise that we talked about doing. I sent you the link from this guy, and he's always sending these crazy videos.
Oh,
The guy that he has, I don't know.
I don't know. Your dress is a little short.
So this guy goes,
Oh, that guy. Yeah. He like slaps his
and then I
armpits.
have another one where he's going like this.
It's a riot.
So,
It's
these
a
are fun
riot.
exercises you can do.
He looks like he's having a
my God.
conniption fit.
Yeah, except
but
now,
yet,
now I feel like I'm gonna faint.
well, that's because you just did the exercise. That was a rep.
The standing up itself is hard
Yeah, well,
enough, but
you should have done it in your chair.
You can do those. You can do qigong. You can
Right on.
do. I do chair yoga or bed yoga all the time.
Bed yoga. Ah.
Anyway, you've got options. You've got options. So I definitely recommend that. What's the other one? The exercise that they do? Oh, so Wim Hof has some like exercises. Yes, people do like forward bends and shit. If you have high blood pressure, be careful with the forward bends because you can get very fainty.
If you have low
I know
blood.
I do. Well, I guess it's if you. I don't know. I have POTS, so if I can't do
Oh,
shit.
Yeah. Well, I remember when
But I
I
don't know if it's high blood pressure or low pressure.
I
You're
think
not
it's
supposed to.
I think it's low because when I first was diagnosed with high blood pressure, they put me on some like severe medicine. And I remember being in the grocery store and going down the low shelf and getting up and I'm like, ooh, like the world stopped for a minute or two. And so I'm like, okay, we need some lighter weight meds for Dougie, which I'm now trying to. I'm officially sort of off. So.
Yes. So I'm trying to get him to eat healthy and all of the things that go with that, and it's been delightful. One thing I did today that I found, so I have my ongoing battle with ChatGPT. Is it good? Is it bad? What do we want to do with it? Is it terrible? And today I used it to create affirmations. So I used the law.
Wait. Is that cheating?
No, so to create the affirmation, to say the affirmation, it can't say the affirmation for you. You need to say the affirmation. So I use the law of attraction planner, and at the beginning, it's like kind of you map out what you want for your life. And I redo this every single year because it changes a little bit. Like there was a time where I wanted to do things like get my black belt and like whatever, travel the world. And now it's like my priorities have shifted a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to do that stuff, but I'm more concerned about like creating a nonprofit and helping 1 million people, and that's always been on my list, but like it's all like the baby steps leading up to that. And we're not even anywhere near where the point where we would monetize the podcast. We need at least 1,000 followers on every platform before we would do anything like that, or any kind of like affiliate relationship or anything like that. But I mean, like I can give you my daily harvest code and get you a discount. That's about it. Like we don't have any kind of affiliate relationships. But once we reach 1,000 followers, then we can start thinking about ways to bring in some revenue. But what was my point in this story? Revenue.
Oh,
Drugs are kicking in. Sorry, kids.
well, it went back that we were talking about.
Oh, ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
So this book, it's mapping out your life for you and what you want to do with your life. So one of the things it has you do is to list your fears. And I did that. I listed out my fears.
Talked about that last night.
We talked about fears, but we didn't talk about the affirmations. So what it had to, well, maybe I did, but I'm going to explain it because there's more to the story. So the you see the fears, and what you do is you say an affirmation to kind of counter that fear. And so I had a couple of areas where I was just having a really hard time coming up with the affirmations, and I asked ChatGPT, and it gave me 10.
No kidding.
So it was like, explain your fear, and I explained my fear. And I'm not talking about like, oh, like I'm afraid I'm going to be fat, or some simple thing. It was like a full explanation of a situation in my life, and I asked ChatGPT for help, and it gave me excellent advice. I was pretty happy about it.
So, yeah.
Yeah, what?
I'm just trying to think where real intelligence is going to be needed versus artificial intelligence, because I always like sort of market myself as like I'm a creative idea guy or whatever, and so
Well,
like
yeah, but so ChatGPT it's going to do the stuff that you don't do actually. So the stuff that you don't do, well, AI. I mean, we haven't really played with a lot of the AI yet. We've played with ChatGPT quite a bit. And I played with I think it's God or something. Anyway, the neighborhood dogs are out. You're gonna need like for in terms of graphic design, like it's fine that it can make a logo or that it can tell you analytics or how to apply analytics or even code a website, but if you do the tapping like that, it's gonna pick up on the thing. But it's always gonna need a human touch on some level. Is it gonna need less humans? Yeah. And but I think there's going to be a big movement toward creativity, which is part of the reason why we're doing this. And I think that there's going to be more need of a human connection for people, which is why we're doing this. So we'll see. But I am in agreement with the smarter tech folks that say that we're not ready for as a society for it. What we really need to have, if AI is going to become a thing, we either have to have some sort of government regulation over what, how it can be used, or we're going to have to go to universal basic income because we're.
Well, think back when unions were having a fit when robotic welders were like on
yeah, but
assembly
I think
lines.
that the economy will change. I think there will be different jobs.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be like ChatGPT can't be a babysitter, can't be a caregiver,
Can't put a roof on your house.
can't put a roof on your house.
Although
it can't.
There's technology that does, a lot of
Yeah,
the
but
stuff.
it's not there yet. At this point in
yeah.
time, service jobs are for sure safe, unless there's a couple of McDonald's that have gone robotic. But I mean, like service, hospitality. I think retail may very well go away. But that's not a ChatGPT thing. I think that's coming. There's a lot of talk that cash is going away. They already passed a law, if it's England or Ireland, somewhere in Europe, that you cannot spend more than $1,000 cash or you'll be fined.
No kidding.
It's illegal.
Yeah, there was one. I read somebody had posted. I think they were in France or Switzerland, and they were like, they couldn't find a place to buy food that took cash. So they were like scrambling around, whatever.
And the thing about that is that it just means that every single penny you have is tracked. It also means that, like, are we going completely cashless? Are we going partially cashless? Like, I don't like the idea of every penny I spend being tracked, much less, I think people should be able to have a yard sale and make $20 not on their sofa and not have to be taxed for it. But I don't know. It's so crazy to me because I was thinking about this. I was floating around the pool the other day. And I was thinking about, I know some people that live pretty lavish lives that are on the system. And far more lavish than we live. Actually, we know a lot of these people. At least three. That these people are on vacation all the time, or they've got new cars. And it's like, well, they're not paying taxes. And the wealthiest are not paying taxes because they've got tax shelters. It's the middle class. We're getting fucked over. And it's like, it's hard because it's like some of these people are people I genuinely like, but like, I know that they're scamming the rest of us. And it's like, it makes me sick. Like, it makes me like, do you not, like, how can you look me in the face and like take that money and take advantage of the system? You're not taking advantage of the government, you're taking advantage of me. Of course the government is also taking advantage of me. Do I want people who need help to get help? Absolutely. But I don't want I just don't want people to take advantage of the system, or any system for that matter. Like if we, like, when we work collaboratively, we have to learn and agree with some sort of baseline rules. I don't believe that I should be able to have agency over you as a person, but because we're married, we have certain things that we agree to in our marriage. And for fuck's sake, you give me like multiple orgasms, and half the time I want to fucking murder you for not keeping the agreements of our marriage. Those motherfuckers are just taking.
That's like that sodomized death that you were talking about before.
The flamingo?
No. Well, you were saying that was a good way to go. On a related note, that a thing I saw the other day is they refigured the numbers for what is low income, middle class, and upper middle class.
Well, right now we are far
We got
below
nothing.
we
Yeah, we
are
got nothing.
far below the poverty line.
Yeah.
Anyway, then I wanted to talk a little bit about, which is funny because we're usually hilarious and we haven't really had any. I haven't talked about dicks tonight at all.
No. Well, we did. Sodomization is one thing.
Flamingo sodomization.
I think you do that.
Doug has a man crush on Wim Hof.
Wim Hof is the best.
He loves him.
Breathe in, breathe out.
I talked about. So I have talked about my frustration with people who ask me for help and just ignore me. Or just my friends who just do moronic things over and not, by the way, not all of my friends. Half of my friends are fucking fantastic. I got a small section that I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But I still love them, but I want to choke them sometimes. None of you are here. I'm gonna be getting phone calls.
Not you, Jeff.
Actually, it's really funny because I'll get like people like it's just weird because like the people that are we get messages about the podcast all the time, and it's always a surprise. And that actually leads me to my next point. We have officially hit 1,000 views on YouTube.
We should have one of those popper things like like
Woo-hoo!
they have. Yeah, wear hats.
And we've officially hit 100 hours of viewing on YouTube, which these are like a big deal apparently.
Wow.
So I'm pretty psyched about that. I got a message from my friend asking for our autograph this morning. I told him I would do it for $50. So
Autographs for sale.
Charlie wants to be a part of the podcast, and I don't know how we're gonna do guests yet. We're not really set up technically. Like right now, I'm trying to figure out how we can play Jackbox on Mother's Day so that people who don't really have moms or people who are just home and bored can join in. But that's going to be a tech thing. We're not really sure how to do it. And then what was I talking about? The tech things, Charlie. So I'm excited about those things. I watched today. I was trying to figure out what the hell to watch because we've been trying to figure out a cheap way to continue to have TV. We watch mostly YouTube videos and like we'll get into a show and watch that show from start to finish. But you know, we're trying to save money, and we've had Hulu Plus instead of cable for what, 3 years now?
About
3 years. Yeah. And they just keep raising their prices and raising their prices and raising their prices. And I have about fucking
which maybe have started at about 45 and went up to about 82. Still better than the 205 we're paying for cable.
I think it was 60, but it's kind of pricey. And so I had asked on my Facebook page, and people have kind of chimed in about what they've done. Some people like the Apple TV. So Apple TV is slightly cheaper. I was going to go to Apple TV because it's slightly cheaper and because I was going to get Doug the football package. Which at the end of the day would be cheaper than when we'd been paying to have not the football package with Hulu Plus, but it would still not be as cheap as not getting it, obviously, because that works out to be what was it, like $200,
$249 or something.
So it works out to be $20 a month.
Yeah,
$20 a month for the NFL channel, and I think we would have been paying like overall $5 less.
Yeah,
a month. But for $5 less a month, and Doug got to watch football, it'd be good. But then Doug's like, no, I don't have to have football, and so then you can do like I think Pluto for live TV. So I don't think that we necessarily even have to get anything. So anyway, we tried Apple TV, and I'd asked about it, and most of my friends are like, oh, I love it, I love it. I had one friend who was like, we hate it. We have Hulu. Actually, I think two.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've had it. I'm not impressed with it.
So far, yeah.
Apple TV, I'm not impressed. Not Apple TV, YouTube
TV.
I'm not impressed with it so far.
Which is strange because we're on YouTube, so we don't want to bash them too bad.
No, it's just that the UI needs work. And I wasn't really psyched about the offerings. Like, there's not a lot of stuff I'm excited about watching, but it might be, maybe I just need to spend a little bit more time searching it. But
we'll keep you posted.
Meh. So far, now we have a 21-day free trial, so we're going to do it.
It's a 21-day window, as they say in the business.
21 days, we will figure it out. But what I did watch today, and I highly recommend, if you're in the mood for a good cry and perhaps a feel good in the end movie, is A Man Called Otto. It's on Netflix. It's with Tom Hanks. And I think everyone else in it is an unknown. But what a fantastic cast. What a fantastic film. I cried through the whole movie. Like, literally through the whole movie. I'm a sap, but I cried through the whole movie.
What was it about?
So this man, his name's Otto, and he's kind of a fucking pain in the ass. This is my summary of The Man Called Otto. So this man, Otto, he's old, he's crotchety, he's a pain in the ass, he's very particular, like probably OCD level particular. And he leaves his job to retire. His wife has passed away, and he's really miserable. And things turn around for him, and he has a really great impact on the people around him. And you'll cry, you will cry, you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll cringe. No, the cringing is only based on the comments that I make about the movie. But I will say I have one of the key points of the movie is that he's suicidal, and so it was close to home for me because I've been suicidal for a long time, and I'm not doing anything about it right now. So I'll let you guys know if that changes. Uh, but but you know, with my between my estrangement from my kids and my illness, it's been a rough go. So yeah. Also, we've been getting a lot of Latina ads because I keep talking about I asked the Google Home if I am if Portuguese people are Latino, and it thinks I'm Latino now. So I get all these Spanish and like Latino women in business stuff.
You can do it.
I wonder if I'm certainly not one to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm really Latina, so I don't know. I'm a lot of things. That's probably not one of them. And then the only other thing I wanted to talk about was intersections. Do you have a
intersections?
Yeah.
Oh, I have a bunch of like headline stuff.
All right, bounce in with a bunch of stuff.
Okay. I saw a headline that made me laugh today, and millions of people have long
Dicks.
C word.
Cunt?
No, the virus.
Yeah.
Millions of people have had long C word brain fog, and there's a shortage of answers. That was the headline. I'm like, well, maybe the people looking for the answers have the brain fog. I don't know how that's not funny to anybody that's reading it.
I wouldn't even bring that topic up.
No, let's not. But I thought that was a funny headline. Also,
It's a funny headline though.
I don't know how 64 years after his death, apparently Buddy Holly has won Best in Show at Westminster Dog Show.
What kind of dog?
I don't know, but I hope it has
Jesus,
horn rim
Doug,
glasses.
you gotta do a little research.
Well, I did that. The funny part was the fact that his name was Buddy Holly, which is a fantastic
There's
name.
also a fantastic. He was a petite basset griffin. Looks like a
Buddy
a
Holly.
cross between a Shih Tzu and a Scotty.
I always thought he was from Lubbock, but
One of my favorite. There's a great song by Weezer called Buddy Holly that I highly recommend. Song of the day, right there.
And
Buddy Holly, Weezer.
We had a waitress once that had on the inside of her arm a beautiful black and white portrait of Buddy Holly as a tattoo, and she was a young girl. She probably didn't even know who Buddy Holly was, but it was fantastic. If I could get Sam Cooke that good on my arm, I would get it. It was fantastic.
You could get Sam Cooke. You don't have that kind of money, but yeah.
No. Yeah.
Tattoos are expensive.
So the other thing that was kind of big news today, and well, when I read this story, what came to mind was those Bugs Bunny Roadrunner cartoons where like the Rock was, like in the desert, like balancing on like this like point. Apparently there's a rock teetering over a Swiss village that has been evacuated because the glacier is melting, and they think that rock will come down and sort of Pompeii that village into the dirt. But all I could think of was like if it's like a mudslide, but not as funny. But if it's a big rock that sort of lands on it, nobody hurt.
Thoughts and
no
prayers
fouls.
for the people
Yeah,
who are
so
about
thoughts
to
and
get killed
prayers
by that
of,
rock that my husband just mocked on national.
I believe it was.
Podcast.
I can't read my writing. That was the thing. So and a meteorite went to crash through the roof. I'm laughing. Why should I be laughing at this? Meteorite crashed through the roof of a house in New Jersey.
Oh, it's like a little thing.
But it was like the size of your hand, kind of a thing. Bounced off the floor, then hit another hole in the ceiling, and then dropped onto the bed. And they thought it was radioactive because it came from space, and it was. But could you imagine? I can't even imagine. And the reason I was kind of laughing is when I was a kid, my dad used to take our colander, it was metal at the time, stick it on his head. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, it's my meteorite helmet. And so the idea of meteorite helmets was very funny. And these people, they should have had the colanders on the head. Because that thing, if that thing hits you, you're dead. They were fine. Everybody was fine.
Did anybody eat ketchup off of it and find out it was a ball of poo from an
airplane?
No,
it was not. It was, it was not.
If you haven't seen Joe Dirt, oh my God.
And
Walken is amazing. And Kid Rock's in it. He makes a little cameo in there. He's pretty good in that. Who's that girl? There's a hot chick in that movie.
I don't know, but that movie for the people and like the old beat up Dodge car was probably worth
the Hemi.
Miami. Yeah, it was I think it was it was a beat up version of the Dodge Daytona Charger, which is a very rare car, under 500 made.
Incidentally, the last thing I looked up on IMDb was Body of Evidence.
Oh,
with Madonna and Willem Dafoe. What was I looking up?
You were looking up Joe Dirt to find out who the hot ass chick was.
Christopher
in the film.
Walken was in it. He's amazing in everything. I think he might have killed Natalie Wood. I'm not really sure.
No,
but
no, no. It was.
did he or did he not?
Well, he was there. He was on the boat.
I have questions.
What was the boat called? Like the Rendezvous or
The
something?
celebrities kill other celebrities.
Where is Tracy when we need her with the research?
Well, I'm doing
it was
research
called
right now. These
not
people
the
are smart.
Rendezvous, and it's gonna kill me now.
All right. Well, the chick was Brittany Daniel, who
Oh.
played Brandy, and she was a cute little cutie pie. And we would have also seen her in Skyline, Club Dread, Little Man, and White Chicks. I have not seen any of those. Cheaper by the Dozen. She was probably one of the kids.
Oh, the boat. I remember the boat's name. Natalie Wood's boat was the Splendor, I believe it was called.
The Splendor. Well, anyway,
wasn't she on Splendor in the
This
Razz?
chick is gorgeous, but she doesn't seem to be getting a lot of roles lately. So
Well,
I don't know. Perhaps she's.
I don't know. Maybe
Hollywood.
Joe Dirt isn't really opening those kind
Let's
of
make
doors.
sure she didn't die. Is she alive? As far as we can tell, she's alive. Anyway, it's a great flick. I wanted to. Do you have any other stories?
I know the Robert Wagner's 58-foot boat was as a motor yacht, and it was called the Splendor with a U.
But we don't really know what happened to Natalie Wood.
We do not. There was a dinghy involved.
We'd love
There
to
was all
hear your
kinds of
theories.
crazy stuff, but it was a tragedy.
Do you have any other comments?
I believe that
I have a
is
full-on tirade.
is about it. No, I don't. Yeah, that's about
Okay.
it.
So, just something that came up recently was that on the Marshfield this is actually brilliant, by the way. Every town should have one of these. It's the Secret Squirrel of Marshfield. So it's the town of Marshfield where we moved from, Massachusetts, and this person is deemed themselves the Secret Squirrel, and they have a Facebook page where they basically report shit that's on the scanner. And so, it's how people find out, because most people don't have scanners in their home, or you download the app and you look at it like when there's like a lockdown at your kid's school for no freaking reason or whatever. And, because they like to scare the bejesus out of us. Anyway, most people don't have the scanner. So they put what's on the scanner, and so they put something about there being, I actually happen to know the secret squirrel of Marshfield. My lips are sealed. They came to our house right before we moved away.
Yes, it was.
In any case, it's a lovely person. And notice how I'm being all genderless and whatnot.
You are
'cause I don't want to
genderless.
give any of that away.
I was wondering about that.
Hey, listen, when I'm told a secret, I'm told a secret. So anyway, they'd had an accident on a bad section of road in Marshfield, and I said, good luck with that. I said, because they do not give a flying fuck. And then I told a story about what happened. So my stepson Nolan, it was his, what birthday was that? Was that?
It was 16th birthday.
16?
It was a major.
We were all going up to P-Town to play mini golf all day. We're going to have a blast because we're big mini golfers, our family. We love to mini golf. We have a blast doing it, and we talked about that before. So we're in P-Town, and my daughter's going to get out of work and meet us at like the second mini golf place, go to lunch with us and that kind of thing, because she didn't get out of work till noon. So we got one mini golf down. I think we were starting our second.
I think, yeah, we were just finished our second, I believe.
We just finished our second. I think we were planning on playing like 4 or 5 that day, which is a lot. And so my daughter was stopped on Booth Hill Road in Situate, Massachusetts. Sorry, Manlot Road in Situate, Massachusetts, in 3A. There are 65 accidents a year in that stretch of road. There have been deaths and a lot of issues in the past. So anyway, she was stopped at the stoplight on the side street, and 2 cars on 3A collided. One of them hit my daughter's car. Thank God she was driving an old Volvo and she was fine, but we were 2.5 hours away, which is my worst nightmare. Fortunately, my friend Mrs. Hunt, Andrea, lives right on that street.
Jumps in action.
They jumped into action. They actually picked up Noelle and brought her to their class reunion, which I can't even remember. It was a long time. So
they towed the car, which they really didn't need to do. But
they're in the, well, that wasn't them. That was Situate PD. Said it was leaking. I think they were just nervous about Noelle driving. Let's see.
What?
I was trying to remember what year do you graduate from 18? So over 50 years of high school graduation later, they had their reunion. Andrew's reunion, and they were high school sweethearts, and so they were with their friends. So it was great because they picked up Noelle and took her there, and it was a room full of grandmas and grandpas. Which, when you have a scare like that, that's exactly what you need. And one of them is actually was actually her school psychologist that was there, or one of the school psychologists. anyway, it was great that she was okay. But after that happened, I found out that this was a problem. I talked to Andrea. I talked to several other people that talked about what a terrible place that was. And Andrea had seen like an accident that morning. And actually that morning, this is how fucking crazy it is. Talk about manifesting. We're driving up Manlot Road. Andrea's passing us in her wagon. And we rolled down our window to talk to her. We talked for 2 seconds. She's like, don't stop here. It's a terrible road for accidents. I'll talk to you later. Love you, bye. And she went to her house and we went on our way. And she got hit that afternoon. How fucked up is that? So I appear before the Board of Selectmen and I'm like, this is the problem. There's an accident. My kid was hurt. My kid was lucky that she wasn't hurt, but there's 65 accidents here a year. Like, what are you talking about? There's a ton. People have been killed. Traffic backs up for days. Like, how is it saving us any aggravation? They're like, oh, well, you got to add it to the agenda, come back, blah, blah, blah. So they do the research, and sure enough, 65 accidents a year. And I'm like, I got a phone call from, like, Provincetown. My kid, I was 2.5 hours away. I could have been out of state. Like, God knows what. Nobody wants the blood of a kid on their fucking hands. And I'm like, if we don't do something about this, it's on your hands. And of course, they're like, well, it's not us, it's the state.
Right. They agreed with you, but they were like, the state.
Well, fuck that. They didn't agree with me. They placated me. Because they didn't, like, it's their responsibility to keep the people, to run the town. And so, I don't know, put a fucking stop sign up or a fucking traffic light and then argue with the state about it later. Like, we don't have it in the budget of the town of Situate where we put $50 million toward the fucking senior center on that blank check, but we can't put a stop sign or a stoplight in on 3A where people are dying. So here's the kicker. Fast forward to, I think it was like 3 years ago now. Young woman, also friends with my friend Andrea, was crossing 3A, gets hit. This poor girl will never be the same. She's had such a battle with, getting any level of function back, and she's doing fantastic. But the only reason her life will never be the same, and the only reason she is where she is today is because she has a mother who is so incredibly dedicated to her daughter's care. She's just jumped through hoops. Listen, I think I was a good mom, but this woman is just a complete rock star.
You do the same for any of your kids.
Of course I would. I would do it for a total stranger. But that's not the point. The point is she's just been a complete rock star, and happy Mother's Day to her. And I know the mother's name, but it's escaping me right now. But anyway, it's, so these, they just don't care. Like, did they put a stop sign up like a week later after that woman was there?
Well, they put flashing lights on the stop sign.
Oh, there's a flashing light on the stop sign. That's helping.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots.
Well,
put a traffic light in. Oh, I'm sorry. It takes everybody another 30 seconds to get to work in the morning.
Here's the kicker.
You'll get your latte. Don't worry. Just order it while you're in your car, and by the time you get to the Starbucks, it'll be ready for you. You feel better now? Yeah, good.
The kicker is they built on that corner, on that exact corner, they built a police and fire station, right, for the town. The town's
it's the worst place.
The hub. Instead of putting the light at the corner, that is the problem. They put a flashing yellow, like 100 yards down.
It's like a flashing yellow that reacts to the fire trucks.
Exactly.
But here's the kicker: it doesn't work.
Okay, well,
actually, Andrea again. She got fucking pulled over. She's driving by there. And apparently the things were coming out, or the light was supposed to change. The light did not change. Andrea kept going. So, like, I guess that they alerted as soon as they, like, load the truck up. So they're opening the door and driving out the door. And it didn't change. Yeah. So Andrea just went on her merry way. She got pulled over, and she's like, no, the light doesn't work.
She's only lived on that road for
her entire
life.
A great book about her home. It's called The Coming Home. It's a historic home. And the book is fantastic. It's written by Kristen Kowalski. Unfortunately, the beginning of the book is my friend dies, which is fucking terrible. But I gotta tell you that this home, and as a matter of fact, one of my friends is here who has been bird sitting in that home recently. It is absolutely gorgeous. The house itself, it's an antique home, so of course that makes it beautiful. Andrea has impeccable taste, and she has the most beautiful antiques, and she has everything, like teapots and chocolate pots and crystal, and I could just sit in that house.
It's good vibes.
And just look at it forever. And if she gives you a tour, it's an hour-long tour, and you are hanging on to her every. It's a pretty big house. You haven't been upstairs. It's huge.
No, I've only been in the living room. I've never been up.
Have you been on the new side or the old side?
I've been on both.
Okay. Well, so she has
but
a
just to
new
living
side
room.
and an old side, but there's so many stories about the home, and she tells such engaging stories. So I say read the book, and then when you do, maybe contact the author and say, hey, can your mom give me a tour of her house? 'Cause
Yeah,
it's awesome.
We'll drive up there.
Actually, I think that they have been renting out the condo, so it's like an Airbnb with storytelling.
Ah, there you go.
You know what? She should do that. She should say, like, that's what they should do. They should market it that way. Stay at the house where the
Yeah,
the
but
book
she
was
doesn't
written.
want to be like. She doesn't want to have to give shows.
I don't
Well,
know. I
maybe
think
she
she
does.
might like to give
Maybe she
shows.
does.
And you know, Jim will have a Manhattan with him. So anyway, that just aggravates me. And this thread, of course, expanded upon. You know, I talked about my experience, and the thread on the Marshfield page expanded from there. And I said, the government only cares about us, so for tax revenue. And so of course some guy chimed in and told me what a miserable human being I was. I read you the response to
Yes,
that, and it made
yeah. It made no
absolutely
sense.
it made no
Yeah.
sense. It wasn't like that he had like a point. It was like what he was saying made no sense. Clearly he had been drinking. But let's face it, South Shore, we like to drink. Not me, but those people. Some people.
I think you just besmirched the entire South Shore.
I might have, but you know what I miss right now?
Some sort of South Shore.
Billy Tibbetts.
Billy Tibbetts was an ex-hockey player that ran for
Google it.
selectmen, and he kind of made these videos that were unbelievably good.
He's on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah,
we had a
he's-
Billy Tibbetts run-in one day.
We
so
did,
this guy,
we did. So
It-
it was probably for a good month. He was not on our radar. The election came and went, and we found out about it the day he lost the election because we saw his video about losing the election. And
Oh, I heard of him before that. I
Really?
heard of him before that.
Oh, so my
I
big-
talked to Tanya and to Karen.
my
about
big
it.
attraction to the guy was that he said he was calling the people in the town white trash losers.
Oh my God, he has a very
in the
thick
accent.
Boston accent.
So, anyways, we were every time this guy put out a video, we're like, there's a new video. We were big fans, and so we were Team Billy, right? And not just because I don't know, the guy
I don't
was
know that you
accused
would
of
say we were.
some
I don't
crazy
think that
stuff,
we were
but.
team. I wouldn't say we were Team Billy.
Well,
but
we were
amused
entertained
by
by it, yes.
And-
And so
and-
we
but
would
the
drive
thing-
by the house and look, see if
But
we
hang
got-
on. But hang on. Well, hang on. We were entertained by it, but like, the guy's like,
Right. Oh yeah,
he's
yeah.
got some problems, and he's. I mean, I think he's suffered some TBIs, and I think that he's didn't have the easiest life despite being despite playing in the NHL, and we genuinely like want the best for him. But we would like if we drove by his house, we would like look.
because we were
And
curious.
So one day we were driving and we were listening to the radio, and there he is on his bike. on a
So he's
BMX.
coming at us on
He's
the
a grown
bike,
man.
and we're in the Jeep going
He's
the
like,
other way.
"Slow the fuck
He's like,
down."
slow the fuck down, and we look at each other
We're
like,
like, "Get
like we had won a game.
I
like
wasn't speeding.
we saw him.
I will speed all day
fantastic.
long on the highway, but I will never speed in a residential neighborhood.
Which was
I have
funny
kids.
because that day he had done a video where like he started singing "Do You Think I'm Sexy" by
by
Rod Stewart.
and we put it on the Jeep.
And so
on
we put
speaker,
it on
we
the
were
Jeep,
listening
and
to it.
5 seconds later, he's yelling at us, and it was like Billy Tippett's week.
Okay, can I just say, for the record, how many times have we talked about manifesting? We have 2 examples of it in the show tonight. Billy Tibbetts, boom, Billy Tibbetts. Accident on Manlot Road, boom, accident on Manlot Road. I don't know how to undo the 2 things that I just said because I'm worried that there's going to be an accident on Manlot tomorrow, and Billy Tibbetts is going to show up in our pool. But, God, could you imagine if the first guest on the podcast was Billy Tibbetts?
Yeah, I don't know. I
Oh
honestly.
my God, I think that might be my life
I
goal.
could
100th episode, first guest, Billy Tibbetts.
Oh.
That would
I
be
don't know what you
hilarious.
talk to him about. I don't know what he's been up to, and all he talks
I
about.
actually would talk to him about. I would be honest with him. It would be like a Barbara Walters situation. I make that motherfucker cry. Not like, but I'd be like, Billy, like, there's a lot of rumors about you and stories about you, and tell me about your childhood and all that crap. And
We don't know what's true. We don't know what's not true.
Well,
He's had some run-ins with the law.
Oh, yes, he has.
Drug-related and things like that, and
and
other related.
sexual assault. I think he went to jail for sexual assault. I think it might have even been rape. But he, but I think like if we sat and had a serious conversation with him, not that you can have a serious conversation with him, but we could have a serious conversation with him. Maybe he'd redeem himself. maybe we'd have a better understanding of him.
Yeah, you always, yeah. I mean, that's where we come from, right? We start to come, we're trying to figure out, what makes you
Yeah, he
tick,
had a
what made
rape
you
in
this way.
In 1994, he pled guilty to rape based on 1992 interaction with a 17-year-old. He and a 15-year-old, between a 17-year-old Tibbetts and a 15-year-old girl. In the convicting, the judge called a brutal nature. His sentence was suspended for 42 months. However, in 1995, while on probation for the rape case, I'm sorry, they just put somebody on probation for a rape? Okay. Tibbetts was convicted of assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, a BB gun, disorderly conduct, and witness intimidation. As a result, he served 39 months in prison. The sentence on the assault and battery charges was 30 months, but it was served concurrently with the previous suspended sentence for statutory rape. That's interesting because they're talking about it being the rape brutal in nature, but then they also called it statutory rape. So that leaves me asking questions. But I have spoken to women that have told me that he's cornered them, 2 of them actually. So I don't know. I'm not there to know the truth, but I know people who have made some colossal mistakes in their lives and paid for them and turned their lives around.
There you go.
So and I think that it's not a popular opinion, but I think sometimes people need having somebody come into their life who's willing to give them a chance is all they need to make a change. But I think at the same time, in addiction came up today because I have a friend of a friend who's not doing so well at the moment. And the thing is that, with addiction, it's such a hard thing for people to kick. And that they, for family members, they have to set limits as opposed to enable. But then it's you want to give them a chance, and where's the line? Yeah. So it's, sometimes I think it just takes a stranger to look at you and tell you, something that you need to hear, you can do this, or I believe in you, or whatever. And it's interesting because I've had stuff that I've heard a million times from particularly about my my estranged relationship with my kids, that that people have told me, I can't believe your kids don't talk to you, and this, that, and the other thing. I had my shrink explain to me. I had another shrink explain to me. At the end of the day, I watched a fucking TikTok the other day that made me feel better. A fucking TikTok.
It was good. It was a very good TikTok too.
And so it's you never know. You could your kind words could change. They could change somebody's life. They could change the world. And I was trying to be all
sure. Yeah, I don't know how we went down on that tip, but it actually
but it seems the last couple days. I think the last couple days we've had kind of a personal development theme, and that's okay. But I think the fuck the government thing is always a good theme.
I do think that if you're going to be addicted to anything, you should be addicted to this podcast.
Some people are.
And all your friends.
I got a lovely text message. So apparently some people do not know that we're doing the podcast right now, no matter how many times I fucking tell them.
Yep.
And they text me in the middle of the podcast, which means that they're not watching the podcast. Thanks for your support, guys. Anyway, I got a message at the crack of dawn this morning. Where is it? Love watching you two and your podcast. I need to get your autographs because you are becoming stars.
Oh, look at that.
Cute little emojis and stuff. Cute emojis. I don't know if you can see them. But anyway. So thank you, Charlie. That meant a lot to us. I get to be useful. Oh, actually, I have my gratitude. Did you do your gratitude today? Oh, well, I don't know. I think are we going too fast? Should we talk about anything else? We're going to cut it off early tonight. I got to start taking my weed earlier, or maybe I need to, I'm not even high.
Speaking of manifesting, somebody just texted me.
Is it somebody who knows that we're in the middle of doing a fucking podcast?
No, I don't know if these people watch the podcast or
not. But they know that you have a podcast. No. Okay, so there you go.
Oh, and last night someone texted me.
We like you guys and no one else. No, I'm just kidding. You can't always watch it. It's okay. What?
Well, last night's was actually pretty funny. It was from a Patriots fan about, I think it was a woman that killed her husband or something.
What are you talking about? Oh, the text that you got in the middle of the podcast?
Utah mom wrote a kid's book about grief after her husband's death, and now she's being charged with a murder. And the picture of that accompanies, they're at a Patriots game wearing Patriots outfits. So he's a Patriots fan, so it was like he was saying that, they weren't good people as a rule. I'm not going to say they're not good people as a rule, but it was enjoyable to
Most
it
of
wasn't
our,
enjoyable.
Most of our friends are Patriots fans.
I know that.
And we love them.
And
football is fucking stupid. I know. How many things do I know about football?
about 103.
So this is the thing we do.
Michael Orr.
Doug will talk about like a sport or whatever, and he'll be like, "Yeah, it's this sport," and I'll have no interest in it. And of course, I'll make some sort of joke like I have no idea that there's like a field goal in tennis, and I'll just make little jokes like that. And then one day we sat down and discussed how many things I knew about various sports. So I just named things out that I know, and we count them, and that's how many things I know about sports. I know so many fucking things about football that I don't even want to know right now. Like Tre'Davious White and Josh Allen and fucking Cole Beasley. And although Cole Beasley, we like him.
Tre'Davious, you like him.
I
I used to like him. He's off the team. He's saying crap about Josh Allen not being the greatest quarterback ever. So,
well,
in the league. He's not saying ever, but in the league.
Tom Brady the greatest of all time? Honey?
No. Well, it depends what parameters you look.
You know who the greatest football player of all time is?
Jim Brown.
Terry Bradshaw.
Ooh,
I love him.
Championship.
I had sex dreams about Terry Bradshaw and Dennis Rodman during my second pregnancy. Whole time. Every night.
At the same
3
time?
days.
Or was it just different? Or did it matter?
No,
if you had
I
a
was
spicy
having,
burrito?
I had a 3-way in a hot tub with Terry Bradshaw and Dennis Rodman.
Oh. Well.
I think I would remember that.
Got to change that water.
I don't know what to say about that. Terry Bradshaw's been sick. Is he doing it?
I think like some but I think he's working on it. He's working on it. He got in some hot water because at the Super Bowl he called the Chiefs coach fat or something. He's like, you go celebrate with some burgers or whatever.
Terry Bradshaw, I wish he was my dad. Or I want to fuck him. I can't decide. Which is like, just talk about that for a minute.
You guys that are out there with the psychology degrees,
I don't know. I don't know if I want him to be my dad or I want him to be my dad.
I have not had sex dreams about any football players.
What about Andrea?
No, I've never had a sex dream about Andrea. I don't have a lot of sex dreams, believe it or not.
You're weird.
I'm weird.
I have sex dreams constantly. I'm going to have a sex dream the second I go inside and fall asleep. It's probably going to be about you guys. How you doing? What?
I don't know. You're too freaky. You're too freaky.
I'm
for
too
me.
freaky.
Although what?
How am I too freaky?
Dennis Rodman and Terry Bradshaw.
This is what happens when you send your kids to Catholic school. All right. Well, I wrote my gratitude.
I did not write any gratitudes, but
well, I would argue that if you're in a negative place in your life and it's just something that you should bring into a habit in your life, you should maybe get in the habit of writing them down. You don't have to do it twice a day like I do. I do it twice a day. I like to raise my vibration, but I'm going to tell you what it is right now. My 10. Yin yoga for my shoulders. I'm really grateful for that. It helped tremendously. I woke up and was literally crying in pain. I took to Aleve. I don't normally take Aleve or any kind of things that are made in the lab. I did yin yoga. It helped tremendously. And then I took an Epsom salt bath. And of course now with the marijuana. I took a detox bath. I'm grateful for that. My friend's son, who's been having all these problems with his van, got a job offer, is getting a job offer by the end of the week.
Oh, nice.
So things are turning around for him. We're really happy for him because he's a good kid. Although I've never met him,
we have never met him.
His stepmom thinks he's a good kid, and since all stepmoms are evil,
by proxy,
since all stepmothers are evil and inherently, he must really be a good kid if she says he's a good kid. I'm just kidding. She's a fantastic, and stepmoms, we're not that bad. Although I do refer to myself as their stepmonster.
Stepmonster, yes.
I do. I call myself the stepmonster. And Nolan will write stepmom or SM on things. I'm like, dude, you just call me. I don't need a title. I do think it's funny though. This Disney idea that like step parents are evil. Anyway, I'm excited about our YouTube milestone, 1,000 views and 100 hours of viewing. If you are so interested to watch us on YouTube, or I don't know, join the fun over there, you can like, comment, share. That would be super helpful. Anything you do to interact with us really helps us out. And I'm thankful when you do it. I'm thankful for my nice message from Charlie today, and I'm thankful that his biodome, he is building a biodome, is coming together. Well, it's coming together in the sense that he's in the process of building the deck. So I don't know how quickly or slowly this project is going to go. But he said that every time he watches the podcast, he wants to make a beeline for Florida, which is nice. And he wants to come on the podcast. We've had a lot of interest in coming on the podcast, but we don't know how to do it yet. Yogurt, well...
You know what we do? We auction it off. Like, you want to come on the podcast? $33,000.
I don't think...
$33,500.
Well, we do have friends that have that much money. Then we got... apparently not everybody would want to do it, though. Like, some people get anxious, like, about being on camera.
Yeah.
They
Well,
don't like the way...
maybe
Listen,
what they could do is send... Actually, it'd
this
be a
gives
good...
me such agita because I'm, like, so self-conscious about what I look like. Which, like, when I think, I have a tendency to, like, look up or whatever. But, like, if I look at the screen while I'm trying to think about something, I'm just to be like, oh, my God, I'm so pale or whatever. Although I think I'm a little less swollen than I usually am in the face.
Yeah.
You want to feel my armpits? Feel them. Feel my armpits.
I'm going to feel my wife's armpits on... Oh, that's better, yes.
Usually it feels like tits. They're like A cups. Because my lymph nodes get so swollen. And I've been working really hard on it. Like, I did the yin yoga, of course. And then biomat, which I couldn't do today because I couldn't poop. Dry brushing. And all of that stuff. So if you have any problems with your lymph nodes, let me know. I'll hook you up with some plans. So I'm really thankful for yogurt. We make homemade yogurt. Doug makes homemade yogurt. And it's a great meal replacement. It's a great snack. It's like dessert, and it's so good for you. We do it with organic half and half.
Yes.
And yogurt culture that we saved from last time. And then...
the recipe says milk, just regular milk. But somebody else, I think Christina might have led us to the
half and half.
To half and half.
So...
maybe it's more dense or something. I don't know.
I don't know, but it's fucking amazing. Well, it has less sugar in it. That's why she would do it that way.
Oh, maybe.
Because the other milks have sugar. And then we mix it with berries or, you know, we do berries, we do mango, we've never done pineapple. We should do pineapple.
Oh, I almost bought a pineapple at the store, but I'm like,
pineapple.
You know what? They just sit there on the counter.
We have a pineapple core thingy.
We do.
They shouldn't sit on the
do
counter.
that again? Could you do that? Yeah.
I am grateful for lizards. We have like so many lizards.
You had 2 of my gratitudes today.
Sorry. Well,
all right, I'm going to do my gratitudes afterwards.
So we're grateful for the lizards. We have so many of them. There's 2 that live in the railing over here. There's a bunch that live in the front of the house. There's a gecko that lives over there. They're just everywhere, and they bring us such joy. They're like our children. They're evasive, small. I'm grateful for Rogan. I know not everybody agrees with everything he says and does. I don't either. If I want to talk to somebody I agree with about everything, I'm going to have a problem because I don't even always agree with the person in the mirror. But I do find his show to be incredibly informative. I think he has fantastic guests, and I think he paved the way for people like me and Doug who are trying to do something. And he started out just like us.
We don't know what that we're doing.
I'm really thankful for people with integrity. That's something I'm always thankful for, but it was just something I thought of today. Is like, there's so many people in this world that do not live with integrity, and you know, I'm really grateful for the people who do. And I'm thankful for friends who respect and value my opinion. I got a phone call from my friend Christina today. She needed some, she needed my medical hat on, and we came to, you know, some conclusions, and unfortunately it wasn't the best day. You know, she's got a friend she's really worried about, and if you could say a prayer. I don't know how you pray for somebody you don't know their name, but let's all pray for Christina's friends.
The goodness of,
of
good.
Let's all pray for Christina's friends, and let's pray for all the people who have health stuff in the world, because it's important to do that. So what else we got?
I had my first gratitude was for the lovely yogurt, and I put Cascadian Farms granola on top of it for breakfast / lunch. It was fantastic. I am looking forward to having that again.
Yes, thank you for not offering me any. That was nice of you.
Well, I finally rolled out about 11:30. But then, what did you have at 11? Oh, you ordered something. So
yeah, but the reason I ordered something was because you didn't offer me anything, and you didn't cook dinner last night.
I apologize for that. Number 2, it was also lizards, but a particular lizard friend that we have here. My sister-in-law Patty had sent me a picture of my brother Phil's new friend, which was a squirrel, which apparently they're feeding on their deck or a picnic table or something. And that was Phil's new friend. So I sent back I wanted to send back a picture of my new friend, which is this lizard that lives in this railing over here. And so I go out to take a picture of the thing. No lizard. He wasn't there all day. Finally, when I came out for the podcast, he was there. And so I'm glad that the lizard
okay.
came back. That's my gratitude. My third was my time in nature today. I actually came out and did my little Zen situation where I skimmed the pool. I will skim that pool within an inch of his life, and it's a good time to concentrate, get away from electronics, and enjoy some fresh air. My fourth gratitude is viewership. We're getting a lot of good viewers, and on
7
YouTube
viewers
and on here.
like tonight. 7 viewers.
We had max 8 tonight at one point, which was
Fantastic.
great. So throughout the whole thing, because people come and go, it's good stuff. And then number 5, I'm going to be gratitude. Although I didn't buy anything today, I did buy stuff the other day at the store. I'm grateful for sales. I found that Publix, you can get a lot of 2-for-1 stuff if you time buy 2 get 1 free. So
I still think Costco's better because they.
Costco is much better,
So
but
they have so much organic. The problem is Publix has got a very limited
Yeah.
organic section.
yes, they do.
But it's very convenient. It's down the street. Doug doesn't like to drive because of his accident, and yeah, I have not been feeling up to it. So there you go. Costco
anyways,
is a lot for me. It's like running a marathon.
The fact that, like, because I'm going to drink the seltzer whether I buy it, wherever I buy it, and if I run out between Costco trips, buying 3, getting 1 is a pretty good deal. And as well as 2-for-1, there was a decent, I'm kind of a cheese snob now, through me and the boys, we used to go to Wegmans, we go to Trader Joe's, and we try all these different, like, high upscale cheeses, and now we're cheese snobs. So they had the good cheese, not like this Kraft cheddar brick that has annatto coloring in it. I don't even know if that's bad for you, but you can look it up.
coloring's not good for you.
So, anyways, they had good cheeses on sale, 2-for-1.
Fancy, but none of them were organic.
None of them are organic. Organic cheese is tough. It's
Well,
tough
you
to
can get the
find.
grass-fed cheese, the Dubliner cheese is
Yes.
totally fine, and there's a lot of organic cheese at Costco.
It's Costco.
So we need to
The
make Costco.
Dubliner stuff though, wasn't the butter, the Irish butter, put in something that leaches some sort of forever plastic into the food or something?
I don't know. It's my last.
Kerrygold.
understanding.
Kerrygold was the one.
It's my understanding that that it's still safe. It's still
Yeah,
better than
it's
most
gotta be better.
options.
'Cause-
But there's also the Kirkland signature, which we should look up where
Yeah.
that comes from. But anyway, Costco, we love it. They have a lot of, and we actually have a credit at Costco right now, like a $70 credit. Or
Well,
something.
it's kind of like a sale because it's discount.
Yes, but we highly recommend Costco. They have a ton of organic foods, and you're saving a fortune. If you're having trouble with your grocery bill, fucking Costco. We're 2 people. Costco. Go in with a list. Like, I'm going to get my chicken. I'm going to get this. Like, we buy our organic chicken, our organic ground beef, organic salmon. Sorry, it's wild-caught salmon.
Wild-caught salmon. It's really good. And actually, the chicken, oh, God, it's got to be pennies on the dollar compared to Publix. And the ground beef, organic grass-fed ground beef is probably $9.99 a pound at Publix on usual. Sometimes it goes on sale, but it never goes under $7.99.
What do we pay for the 3-pack at Costco?
And 3-pack at Costco,
It's probably like $22, right?
it's 22, I think. Yeah, so there's some savings there.
So there's a lot of savings, and you can get a lot of healthy foods, and obviously toilet paper, that kind of shit. But there's really some. I mean, what do we buy? We buy. We'll buy fruit there. Actually, I just recently found out that oranges are one of the most heavily sprayed things. So you got to get organic oranges. Who knew? We always get spinach. We always get berries if they have them. We always get water, of course, and seltzer, and but then we have some organic stuff. We don't eat a lot of processed food. Every once in a while, I'll get some freezer stuff, and we found out, holy fuck, I ordered today. I ordered wings for lunch because I wasn't feeling like I could move, and Doug was in his office, and so I ordered some wings, and I got this broccoli, a side of broccoli with it. It was Parmesan garlic broccoli. That was amazing. I want to eat it every day for the rest of my life. Basically, you have some broccoli, you cook it, and then you take it in the oven with olive oil, Parmesan cheese, and minced garlic, and you just roast that bitch, and oh my god.
Roast that bitch.
Oh my god. I just Googled the recipe, Parmesan garlic broccoli. Yeah, it was the best thing. I could have not eaten my wings and just eaten that fucking broccoli.
Well, you know what to get next time. It's a big old
No,
tray.
I think I just want you to make me some broccoli because I have the munchies. Can you make me some broccoli?
We have leftover broccoli.
Yeah, so you could bake
I
it
could,
with
yeah,
Parmesan.
it's only like 8
Oh, you
pieces.
could do it in the fucking air fryer.
Fry it
5
up.
minutes flat. Fuck yeah. I love the air fryer. I don't know how to use it. I don't know how to use the air fryer or the Instant Pot. Do we never put that on tonight? Because I'm getting bit.
Oh, it was on. It just probably ran out of water. 'Cause there wasn't much in there.
It's funny because somebody on the Cape Coral page asked tonight about bugs in the lanai, and I
Oh, very good.
said diffuser with essential oils. We've been doing cedarwood.
Cedarwood for the most part, yeah, and then the Terra Shield other times.
Lemongrass too is a good one, but here's the kicker. Some of these essential oils, pets are sensitive to, so you have to look that up. I don't have pets.
Be careful out there.
Some of them, even small children, are sensitive to. But again, I don't have any small children. Hey, you guys okay?
They didn't say
I got
anything.
nothing to say. So
Hey, silence is as good as...
you're the only quiet ones around here.
What do they call it? Consent. Silent is equals consent. I don't know. I'm just talking.
Oh, I shared yesterday's video to my wall.
Oh, well, wait,
I
well,
meant to share today.
it's called a rerun. It's Sweeps Week.
People are probably wondering why I'm wearing the same damn dress. P.S. I was wearing the same damn dress until about, I don't know. Because every night I'm in this weird cycle. So I put a dress on for the podcast.
Yep.
And then I
Like
take the
reverse
dress
morning.
off and throw it like on the edge of the bed. Go to bed naked because that's what I do. Get up, put it on. Then I put my tank top on, get in the pool. And then I'll either just throw that dress back on or I'll find a new dress at that point. Sometimes I forget.
Oh, I should have showed the tank top tonight in all its glory because of it's not wet tonight.
Well, go get it.
You want me to go get it right now?
Go get it. I mean, that's not like, it's not necessarily earth shattering.
No, but we had talked about it.
I think he's still wearing the same pajamas from 3 days ago, so I don't know what the hell he's talking about. But Marital. Okay, so we get a chat with our little friends. We're so glad you guys are here. Hey, Cheryl. Cheryl, I thought you were moving to Florida. Where are you? And I have a place that I want to move in Florida, and I would be totally cool with you living there. I will tell you privately, but I won't say it on the internet. Go ahead.
This is kind of what she...
Oh, I could put it on over my thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I wear.
That's what's
swim.
swimming around out there.
So it kind of covers my butt.
Yeah, kind of.
But
Not...
if I'm swimming,
But it's clingy and
It does
yeah,
this.
it's yeah.
because as it's been in the water and I've been all over the place, maybe I'll just start wearing this to the podcast tonight.
It looks like you're wearing something backwards.
That's what happens because your titties are like little torpedoes and they just shoot out of there.
Torpedo
So anyway, poor Cheryl. Yeah, you should do the smacky guy stuff and the breath work and all of my hippy dippy shit. Jeff, it it really does.
Yeah,
make
we'll
a difference.
fix you yet, Jeff.
But I don't
That's
think
what
there's
we'll
anything wrong with Jeff. I think he's fucking delightful. But I will say this.
do. There's nothing wrong with it. He listed a bevy of injuries and surgeries and things like that. So I don't think.
Well, he's always, he's had stuff, but I'm saying that there's
But he
hope
is
for
of
him.
sound mind. Not like us. He's of sound mind.
I don't know, maybe. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that I think anything you can do to make yourself feel better, you should try it. And I think he's actually, and I mentioned this actually the other night. I don't know if you caught Monday's show, Jeff, because I talked about you for a while. I didn't divulge any personal information.
Were there any sex dreams about Jeff?
Not yet, but I'm working on it.
Probably tonight because
Me
it's going
having
to be this
a
spicy
dirty
burrito.
dream about Jeff and Lisa.
Hey,
I
it
was
is-
shooting for Tracy and Becky, but I could go with Jeff and Lisa.
Well,
Anyway.
you can have many dreams as you want.
You are in the same league as Dennis Rodman and Terry Bradshaw. In any case, I think but Jeff had a really good perspective on your health and not focusing on how crappy
Yeah.
you feel. And it was a reminder I needed. And if you want to give me that reminder every day, Jeff,
Every day,
I would not
call her
complain
up.
because I was in a lot of pain today. And But meditation, yoga, Epsom salt bath, are all helped.
Muck sticky music.
Deb went to sleep, so I would love 1 hour and then 53 minutes. So she was here for 7 minutes. She went to sleep. That's adorable. Good night, Deb.
She showed up.
She has a birthday coming up.
Not like
We're
she-
gonna have to sing to her tomorrow. I think it's either tomorrow or the next day is
All
Deb's
right,
birthday.
all right.
We keep voting wealthy politicians that pad the tax code for their own and their donors' benefit. You are speaking to the choir, my friend. You have nailed it. That they're just helping themselves and their friends out. It's ridiculous.
I would like to know when the last poor person was elected to office.
No,
Like,
I don't think that
national
has.
scale.
I don't believe that has ever happened. Jeff, if you want to live in the commune,
wait.
you can.
Didn't Bill Clinton have that sob story about being from Hope, Arkansas, and going to
Yeah,
go to
the
school
Clintons
uphill?
were broke. You're always doing moronic things. Just ask your wife. Please say hi to your wife for me. Give her a big hug. I don't know. I don't know what those moronic things are, but I would like a full accounting. Cheryl, I don't know what you're laughing about, but I'm glad you're laughing.
Oh, we have to remind Jeff what day it is sometimes, because remember that there was a story about that last week. He didn't know what day it was.
I never know. We don't know what fucking day it is.
All right, so we'll try
Today's
and make.
Wednesday?
I think it's Wednesday. Yeah.
So both Jeff and I didn't know what day it was last
yeah,
week.
it was Wednesday today.
They approved a light at Manalot and I think Booth Hill. That's what I heard a while back, but it's not been done to date. Exactly. So let's see how many more people can die in the meantime, because we don't give a shit. I'm so glad you met you two before you got so famous, and the whole South Shore doesn't drink, just 85% of it.
Yeah.
Kevin is one of our many sober friends, and we are so proud of him.
That's right. He's in the 15%
and he's definitely
right
in
there,
that.
baby.
And I will tell you that Charlie actually, Charlie hit one of the AA meetings in Scituate, and he really liked it. He had a good time.
Oh, that's right.
There
I
was
remember
a good group of people. It was right when his mom passed away. I brought him to a meeting. I don't know. I've been to a couple AA meetings. I've gone with Charlie, and I've taken other friends to meetings. And I went to Charlie to give him his chip, which was one of the biggest honors of my life. And my grandfather was an addict, so I would go to when he got like big chips or whatever. And so anyway, Charlie. I think that the community, like the part of what they do is they get into service of others, and it's a brotherhood or sisterhood or whatever, but it's people who are able to get sober are the strongest people I can think of. I mean, they're phenomenal. I don't know how they do it, and I've seen so many people who can't do it. So I have a tremendous amount of respect for people who do get sober. And if you've fallen off the wagon and you're watching this tonight, I can understand why. This show is ridiculous. But, there's people here in this group right now that would talk to you right now in a minute and, help you find a meeting, maybe even go to a meeting with you. I don't know, you can do it. We believe in you. And, let's see. Derek says, great to see you're building an audience. Keep on making us laugh, cry, and enjoy your podcast tremendously. Oh, that makes me so happy. Derek, you made my day.
Derek's good.
Is Derek our bird guy?
No.
Wait, how do we know Derek?
Derek is Walpole dad.
Hello, Walpole dad, Derek.
Yeah.
I would have met him. I was a Walpole mom at one point.
You may have.
I wonder if we've ever met. My kids were born in 96, 98, and 2000. I have twins, and they have red hair. Let's see. I'm glad that Lisa keeps Jeff in check. I feel
was Cheryl the one that was going to move down here?
Cheryl, yeah.
Okay, and she said her hubby won't move to Florida unless he has employment. Well,
you can move to Florida with employment, and then
if it would help
job.
Cheryl, I could make up like a little gift certificate where he could come and watch her swim or something. Maybe I don't know. Whatever would help. Whatever would help you, because you're our viewer.
Actually, Cheryl and I talked about. She has a son who's on the spectrum as well, and we had talked about the community over on the East Coast,
on the East Coast,
which looks phenomenal. It's fantastic. It's basically a community for kids who are differently abled, and they have everything they need right there. It's fantastic.
Yeah, place to work, garden, little store, little shop, place
apartments,
to do things,
whatever, so that they can, live normal lives. I mean, that's one of the biggest concerns I think for a special needs parent is what happens when you die and your child outlives you. Who's going to take care of them then? Who do you have? And so I think that the goal should ultimately be independence, both for the purposes of, like, obviously, when you're gone, who's going to take care of them, but also for the purposes of their self-esteem. Like, I think when like, one of the, and obviously I'm not comparing myself to what these kids go through, but there's so much I can't do for myself anymore. And I hate asking, and it's really hard. And it really destroys your self-esteem. You feel like a waste of space. You feel like, what am I doing on this planet? Which is why I love it when my friends call me for advice, because it makes me feel somewhat useful. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, there's jobs. Let's find him a job. Although I would tell him to open a business as a property manager.
Well, I do have a business proposition if anybody's game. It's something, a lifelong dream of mine. There's a local mini golf place that was damaged in a hurricane. It's for sale for
$2
it's for sale
million.
for $2 million.
Oh my God!
It's
Does
a
anybody
little
have
steep.
$2 million that Doug and I can borrow so we can buy this mini golf place? Because we would love to own a mini golf.
Yeah,
place.
I have this idea in my head for.
Well, it's already got decorations. You know.
Well, I would have to phase them out and make it my own. But well, the problem is that the hurricane tipped over the big elephant, and the elephant's like in the way, so we have to get rid of the elephant. Maybe we'll keep the elephant and make it into.
I don't know what to say.
tribute.
I will say that.
But $2.5 million. I think it was.
No, it was two. Do you know when I was a kid, I got to name the elephant at Roger Williams Zoo?
That's fantastic.
It was Emily, and I was a little girl who named it. And
Did you get anything for that? They give you.
I don't remember. I think it was in the paper. I don't have any of my childhood stuff. I don't have anything like that. I have 2 pictures of myself as a child. 3. No, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pictures of myself.
You know what Stacy would say to
prior
that?
to 20.
You know what Stacy would say about you?
Stacy, me?
Yes.
What?
Well, that's because you were ugly and you weren't worth taking pictures of.
Probably
That's
wouldn't.
what Stacy would say, and you'd think it's hysterical.
I do think
and
it's
then
hysterical.
Other little baby Stacy would be like, "I'm so ugly, I don't know."
I was adorable as a small child. I might be ugly now, but as a small
You're
child, I
ugly
was
now.
adorable.
God damn it.
I was adorable as a small child, but then I had this very long, awkward phase, which, if you can see the way I'm dressed right now, is continuing tonight. Anyway, I would open a business down here, property management companies or handyman. People cannot get people out. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, if I had my health about me, or landscaping or pool, like, you will be fucking booked in a week. If you show up, you will be booked in a week. Lisa is sleeping. She had a long work day today. Do you think she's having?
sleeping.
Do you think she's having a sex dream about Terry Bradshaw and Dennis Rodman?
Definitely not.
Your wife
Flutie
is
and Brady? Maybe.
She's classier than that. Yeah, well.
Gronk and Brady, maybe.
We actually did talk about Gronk that night. In any case, I hope she has sweet dreams, and I think you should go spoon her because she's so cute. And people who have overcome any addiction are heroes. I couldn't have said it better myself, Anne.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's called, the community is called Promises of Brevard. It's a community living in Melbourne, Florida, which is over on
Yeah, we like that area.
the East Coast. I'd love to get Weston somewhere like that, or build something. Actually,
Cool town.
so I got talking to Todd, who I don't know if he's here tonight or not. He usually chimes in. I got chatting with Todd, and he was talking about he wants to help veterans, and then he's going blind himself, and he was thinking about doing something for people who are struggling, because he knows so many in Texas. So he's starting to explore that as an option. He doesn't know where he's going to get the money from, and I don't have any money, but
I have a feeling that there people are lining up to give you money to help veterans. I would think that. I don't know how to do it either, but I get that impression from looking around.
I would hope so. I
would
would certainly hope so.
Yeah.
But you know, the reality is that it should be coming from the government, and they get very little support and substandard
use you up.
healthcare, and they
they
use you
stay
up
up.
and fucking discard you. Sadly, I know what that feels like. It's not fun.
Is that what happened with Terry Bradshaw and Dennis Rodman
No,
after
that's
they
what
were
I
done
did
with
to
you?
them.
Did they discharge you? This is
It's
crazy.
so weird to be like this pregnant and having like really intense sex dreams, like. But that's what happens. You get super horny.
Oh.
Yeah, so I hope that everyone has a fantastic night. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with us. I don't know what's wrong with you guys that you're here, but we really do appreciate it. It's like our favorite thing, and we look forward to this every day, all day. And even when we've had days where we don't speak to each other until we come on the podcast. Actually, yesterday was that day. We always look forward to talking to you guys. We love that people like the podcast. We love that people are having a good response to it, and we couldn't be more grateful. So we appreciate you so much. We hope you have a fantastic night. We love you.
Yes. Sweet dreams. See you tomorrow.
So you give it a good
3, 2.